Hi everybody. Let's get to know the presets in Runway Gen-3 Alpha Turbo. I start with this image generated in Midjourney. The prompt: 52-year-old male artist, thin, Italian, wavy white hair, beard, mustache, very well dressed in an artist studio. I love that shirt. I like the cluttered background of his studio. Looks like he's working on a self-portrait. That's a nice touch. This image is the first frame in our runway experiments. I like how this video turned out, but it took me 5 iterations to get this result. Let's break it down. In the runway editor, below the text prompt box, are a listing of presets. Here are all the presets: a person in a crowd, cinematic dolly out, cinematic drone, close-up crane down, close-up crane up, close-up dolly in, close-up dolly out, close-up orbit left, close-up orbit right, close-up portrait, dynamic motion, establishing wide, fast motion, fast zoom, first-person view, handheld, high angle, low angle, macro cinematography, nightlight portrait, orbiting scenery, over-the-shoulder, portal transition, realistic documentary, slow motion, static camera, surreal levitation, titles. Tip: try each of the presets to see the effect on the video. I did not do that. Learn from my mistake. In Gen-3 Alpha Turbo, there are a set of camera controls that allow you to position and move the camera more accurately. I'm going to cover those in a separate video. You really need to use the camera controls and the text prompts in coordination. I didn't do that initially. My first experiment, I knew I wanted the camera to move around our man. I dove in without knowing what I was doing. Camera glides left. It does that, but the guy looks like a statue. Camera glides left while man looks around. Still a statue, but with slight eye movement. Camera glides left while man turns his head, looks around. That is a bit more eye movement. At this point, I started checking out those preset options. Orbiting scenery is probably intended for a different type of shot. This preset gives you the prompt. We orbit around a subject in a scenic environment. Example: a monument on a hill overlooking a forest, hyperdynamic movement in orbiting motion, shallow depth of field, subject in focus. In the style of describe style, example: dark, muted, natural color palette, cinematic. I modified that too. We orbit around an artist in his studio, hyperdynamic movement in orbiting motion, shallow depth of field, subject in focus, in the style of cinematic. The result is so much better. I like the slight movement of his arms, but I wanted more expression in his face. I added the subject grins. I like this final clip, but I'm sure there are better ways of getting it without using the orbiting scenery preset, which seems aimed for something else. More on runway presets and camera controls soon.